нас прозвучит тема «Код и реальность», создание коктейльного бренда нового тысячелетия с использованием локальных технологий со всего мира. И я приглашаю на сцену Даниела Джонса, бренд амбассадора Амара Диагастура.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here at Barometer 2019. Now, my name is Daniyel Jones from the House of Angostura. The last time I was here, I took you guys to walk through the portfolio of the House of Angostura. Today we're going to do a different journey today. Today is all about roots and reality. Now this is the theme of the Barometer this year. It's all about roots and reality. And I'm from an island called Trinidad and Tobago. You guys familiar with the islands? Anyone here familiar with the islands? I know you are. And the islands, there are some people we call rootsmen. The rootsmen are like the tribal people. They're what you call real people. They're not fake. They're not caught up in the lifestyle of materialism. They're like local fishermen. And I always remember as a kid seeing the rootsmen. They were always happy. They would be wearing no designer clothes. They would be fishing. And whatever they caught, sometimes they would barbecue on the beach. And if you were on the beach with them, they would invite you and say, hey, come. They would always have enough for everyone. And it's one of those things that I grew up with that I love. So we call them rootsmen, the real men. So today I'm going to be your rootsman today. Alright? Now I need you guys to help me with something. When I say big man thing, I need you guys to say, ooh. You can do that? Alright, that's all. Because throughout this seminar, we're going to take a journey through different styles of cocktails that have been exposed to. And on the island, we say, big man thing. That's right. Big man thing. Alright, good. So for those of you who do know who I am, I've been with the House of Angostura since 2013 as the Global Brand Ambassador for the House of Angostura. So as a Caribbean bartender, I've been given an incredible opportunity to travel around the world. I've been able to visit over 75 countries and towns, which is just absolutely remarkable. Sometimes I sit and I'm very grateful for this opportunity when I look at it from this perspective. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love is being able to go to different cultures and experience very authentic, or what you would call indigenous styles of drinking. Every culture has its own version or own appreciation for their styles of drinking. So today I'm going to take you on a walk through some of my favorite drink serves that I've seen throughout the world. So we're going to start with the whys versus the whats. When you leave today's seminar, I want you guys to be inspired. I want you guys to be inspired to be reminded of what you do and why you do what you do. For those of you who are bartenders, can I see a show of hands for all the bartenders in the house today? Excellent. That's a lot of hands. So when you leave today, I want you to have a sense of motivation and inspiration coming out from this seminar. We're going to look at some taste and technique versions throughout the world, and then we're also going to look at indigenous serves. Now, one of the questions that we ask ourselves, without even realizing that we ask ourselves, is why versus what? The theme of Barometer this year is roots. Roots mean origin, the origin of something. The origin refers to the root. So if the root is well binded, if there's a deep root, then the stem, the branches are going to blossom. As bartenders, we are the branch, we are the stem, and that's the what. What you do as a bartender has an origin, and that origin is hospitality. There's a famous proverb that says, the greatest of leaders are the greatest of servants. How many of you got into bartending for the money? How many of you got into bartending because something about it was intriguing? Yeah. How many of you love the creativity that you get to showcase as a bartender? How many of you love to see the smiles on your guest's face when they enjoy the drinks that you serve them? I don't think that was enough hands. Then somebody need to work on your drinks. Those are the whats. But every morning, every late shift, every time you reach the last call, you will always be reminded of why you do what you do. Why are you a bartender? Why are you a bar manager? Why are you creating this cocktail menu using fresh ingredients only? The why is what motivates us, keeps us grounded into becoming the best. As I travel the world, I get to see many versions of that why. We always look back at the past because we have this very, what you would call, a very romantic affection for the past. Something about traditions intrigue us. We love the traditions of different cultures. We love the traditions of spirits. As a bartender, you see the traditions of your spirits. But if you explore a bit deeper, you get to see something more. If you explore beyond rum, beyond mezcal, you get to see more. If you go to the country, if you go to sit with the locals and you drink with them, you see more. This romantic affection that we have is what allows us to create the next trending cocktail, the next millennial cocktail. So, being exposed to so many different styles of drink cultures that are very indigenous, we're going to take a walk. I'm going to show you just a few of my favorites. What I always believe is that technique defines taste. statements is shaken or stirred. I know it's all about James Bond. I don't look like James Bond today, but I do have a James Bond style. I try to. But we all have this perception of shaken versus stirred. Now, if you really dive into shaken versus stirred, you'll get to find out about the Cantoneros from Cuba, who created the style of shaking a cocktail when no one was shaking a cocktail. They started shaking a cocktail because they needed job opportunities, because many Americans were going into Cuba and they were not getting jobs. So they decided to create a style of making a cocktail that was very flamboyant, very attractive to their guests. And this birthed what was known as the Cantoneros of Cuba, who were shaking a cocktail. Now, many of us shake cocktails in our own way. But if we come back to the root of everything, the Cantoneros deserves a big man respect. Hold on. Big man respect. Now, during the 1830s, long before the Cantoneros, one style of making drinks was called swizzling. But swizzling is a lot more than that. The Aztecs and the Mayans, the tribal people, they used what was called a molinillo, which is what you see right here. Now, a molinillo was used to create the froth on hot chocolate, what you call hot chocolate. But really and truly, it's cocoa. It's a cocoa drink. The cocoa nibs would be fermented, and they would create a drink containing cocoa, water, spices, and sugar. Now, this was very organic. This was very natural. So it contained many, not just antioxidants, but it was also known to be an aphrodisiac. So this style of drinking was very popular. But one of the things I want you guys to take as bartenders, the style of using the molinillo, as you see here, to create the froth was very significant to the Aztecs and the Mayans. Every mother, every home had to have a molinillo. Having a molinillo in your home was a sign of prosperity and fertility. Because just making a drink, the froth was known to carry oxygen to your body, which meant that you would have a powerful effect of wisdom. That was their belief. Now let's take that belief and compare it to what we think as bartenders when we're conceptualizing a cocktail. When you make a classic summer cocktail, you want a foam on top of the cocktail. Now this foam is very similar to what they're doing, or they were doing. But they had a lot more belief towards the concept of it. The foam carried oxygen. I'm going to go a bit deeper here with you, because we're going to take simple concepts to inspire you to create the next millennial cocktail. Many of us think that centrifuges and all these lab techniques are going to help us create the next trending cocktail. But like fashion, everything goes full circle. So think about this. The tribal men in the Aztecs and the Mayan culture would create a foam with the belief that this would impart oxygen into their body, hence wisdom, and a powerful strength into their body. When you create a whiskey sour, I don't think you're thinking it's going to impart strength. Some people do think that it imparts strength. But I will say that if we kind of hold on to that concept and that belief of the significance of something so simple, we see it a lot different. The perspective is a lot wider. So I love the molinillo effect. On certain islands, we use a swizzle stick, the voile stick, which comes from the voile tree. And the swizzling technique, which dates all the way back to 1830, circa 1830, long before the cantoneros were shaking their cocktails, is very popular. And this is the hot chocolate that I told you guys about. Now I say hot chocolate, but it's not hot chocolate. It's a cocoa drink. My grandfather's brother had a huge cocoa estate on the island. And I always remember going to the rooftop of his house where all the cocoa nibs would lay in the sun. And you get to walk on top of them. And now speaking about this and doing this, it brings me back to that moment, walking and feeling the sun and feeling the cocoa nibs on my feet. Now this particular cocktail was one that, I call it a cocktail, but this particular drink is very popular. Because even on the islands, for instance my island, Trinidad and Tobago, we had tribal people called the Amerindians. And the Amerindians were doing the very same thing as the Aztecs. They were drinking chocolate. When Christopher Columbus came to the island, he saw how popular they were. And they took this concept of drinking chocolate and took it back to Spain, and the British even took it back to the UK. And they would do what was called chocolate parties. Yeah, just listen to this. A chocolate party. You go to a party and all you're drinking is hot chocolate and feeling sexy. But this was a different type of chocolate. This was organic. This was real. This was unprocessed, natural stuff. Simple: cocoa, water, sugar, and cinnamon. So for each cocktail that I showcase, I want you guys to take something away from this. And the takeaway for this is that they've been drinking chocolate for over 4,000 years. We've only been eating chocolate for 200 years. So long before the Kardashians, we've been drinking chocolate. So for me, I would love to share and impart to the bartenders. Let's see some more artisanal style chocolate cocktails. Another drink on my journey that I loved was chicha morada. Anyone here familiar or have tried chicha morada? Right. Anyone else? Okay, beautiful. Now chicha morada is very special because it requires a purple corn. Now this purple corn can only be grown in the Peruvian Andean region. And it's incredible. I always remember going into a Michelin star restaurant and sitting there and having a purple drink in front of me, and it was not wine. It was chicha morada, and it was absolutely delicious. A combination of purple corn with pineapple skins. I'm going to pause for a moment. Is there anyone in this room who has ever used pineapple skins to create a cordial or a drink in their bar, or just know of anyone? I have one here, 2, 3. Okay, a lot more than I thought. Excellent. Pineapple skins are used all over the world. It's very popular. Beyond just the juice, I grew up as a kid, and I always remember making pineapple juice, not with the pulp of the fruit, but with the pineapple skin. So you add the cinnamon, the cloves, the lime, and the sugar, and you have chicha morada, a purple, non-alcoholic drink, and it's just absolutely delicious. So the takeaway for you guys would be, this is available on a global scale. You can order chicha morada, the powdered version of it, from Peru. You can have it delivered to wherever you want in the world. To Kiev, to any part of the world, to Poland, to you name it. To France, to London. Now what it does, it creates a conversation at your bar. It creates an opportunity to create something that's different. A very artisanal and avant-garde style of cocktail if you would like, but it's definitely something that's worth considering in your cocktail regime. So for the Chicho Morada, I would say, big man thing. No. Big man thing. The next indigenous cocktail that I saw on my journey is called Mama Juana. It is not marijuana. Mama Juana. Now, Mama Juana is a very Caribbean thing. And what I love about Mama Juana, it brings you back to the very simplistic appreciation for maceration. As bartenders growing up, you start infusing cocktails. And then you start seeing, many bartenders, celebrity bartenders, using very intricate tools and equipment to create their cocktails. But a simple infusion of rum, red wine, honey, tree bark, herbs, and sugar creates Mama Juana. Very popular in Dominican Republic, Curacao. What I love about this, and the takeaway for this would be the simplicity of infusions and maceration. Now you're talking to the guy from Angostura. We've been the leaders in the business category for almost 200 years. We understand the beauty of maceration. We maintain the simple process of maceration to this day. We've never changed the recipe. We maintain a very simplistic style of macerating to create the bitters. Is there anyone who does not know Angostura bitters in this room? No, I don't think. I think you don't. You just don't know that you don't know it. But this bitters carries the process of maceration, and to this day, we maintain that simplistic process. So Mama Juana brings us back to that concept of macerating spirits with barks, herbs. You have an infusion of red wine and rum with honey. So it's something to consider. Another drink is called Mobi, or Mabi or Mabi. Now this is very popular in Trinidad and Tobago or in Barbados. Now these are islands. I can tell you, growing up in the island of Trinidad and Tobago, the Mobi is a bark. It's a dark brown bark. But every house that you go to, if I go to your house, there is going to be a drink of Mobi available. Any day at any time. It was a ritual. It was something that we enjoyed all the time. Now Mobi is also known to make men a lot stronger. Big man. Hold on. Big man thing. So the men love to drink Mobi. But it was also known to provide electrolytes into your body. So it was a hydrator during the day. For the laborers who were working in the fields, they would drink a combination of Mobi infused with aniseed, bay leaf, cinnamon, sugar, and water. What I love about Mobi, and you can see here, this is a picture of one of the women moving around during the hot day serving Mobi. What I love about Mobi for a bartender is that it creates a beautiful bittering element. Many times you look for brands, but I'm showcasing to you a bark that provides a very bittering element that's unique to your profile of cocktails. It's also a conversational starter. When someone asks, what is the ingredient? What is Mobi? How many of you have heard about Mobi before? I see there's 2-3 hands. Now if ever you go to the islands, it's a common drink. It's very popular on the islands. So this is something that you can also get by just ordering online. You can definitely get Moby bark and use it in your cocktails. Yerba mate. Do you have any Argentinians in the house here? Alright. Now this is a very, is there anyone who loves tea? Anyone who likes tea? Likes tea, right? Okay. Now if you like tea, you're familiar with the British style of drinking tea, or maybe the Japanese style of drinking tea. Yerba mate is one that I absolutely love because it's South American, Central America. There is this debate between the Argentinians and the Uruguayans, between who really started the whole drinking of yerba mate. But it's very popular. Now yerba mate is like wine. You have different versions or different styles of it. A light, medium, and a full body version of it. But it's very bitter. Now what makes yerba mate incredible is the fact that you not only have this type of tea, but you have the vessels that you use that are different. So the vessel that you see here, this is called the gourd. Now yerba mate is not yerba mate without the gourd. You take the gourd and you put whatever type of yerba mate, the tea that you like, inside it. You fill it 2 tins inside. You put your hand over it. Am I correct there? You shake it. Alright? Make sure it's all over. And you tilt it. And then you take what is called the bombilla. Bombilla is a straw. It's not plastic. No. It has a filter to the end. You put the bombilla inside. The bombilla is this here. So when you put the bombilla inside, then you add a small touch of cold water, followed by the hot water. But you don't want it too hot, because you're going to sip on this slowly. Now yerba mate is shared. So we sit in a circle, we sit at the table, we share. You take a sip, I pass to you, you take a sip. It's a beautiful ritual. Now sometimes you may see someone walking with a flask in their arm, and their yerba mate cup in their hand. Now if ever you see that, know that they're drinking yerba mate. As a bartender, the takeaway for this would be, yerba mate, for me, is an incredible ingredient as a bittering element also. Just like the Moby bark, you can reduce it, you can create a cordial, or you can create a bittering element into your cocktails, which is what I love about it. Ooh, mezcal de Pachuca. Yeah. So mezcal de Pachuca, is there anyone who has tried mezcal de Pachuca here, in this room here? Alright, I know I definitely know, and Sophie has, grew up. Mezcal de Pachuca is taking the redistilled mezcal and adding a variety of local fruits, herbs, and chicken breast, or turkey breast, while distilling. Now, Pachuca means breast. Now, what I love about mezcal de Pachuca is that it's a very ritual, or it has a very strong sentiment to the drink. For weddings, for anniversaries, for births. It is something that they love to use as a showcasing of their love and their passion for who they are. So when you drink mezcal de Pachuca, it's not just taking a shot of mezcal. It's embracing a culture. The ritual of using turkey breast, chicken breast in it is very optional, depending on the type of recipe. You know, and I want to say thank you to Aunt Sophie for, I mentioned it to her today, and she brought some mezcal de Pachuca, the brand that she has featured. And her version is a vegan or vegetarian version that doesn't contain the turkey breast or chicken breast, which is, you know, very optional for some people. Now what I love about it is that this ritual is something that creates a novelty. the takeaway for this is the significance of a ritual when making a cocktail. Every bartender in this room has their form of a ritual. The way you shake a cocktail, the way you make a cocktail from start to finish. That's your ritual. That's the way you do it. That's the way you make people, the guests in front of you, happy. The ritual of making mezcal with sugar is still growing. It is a very expensive form of mezcal. So yes, you're going to pay something like 200 plus per bottle. I don't know, Alan, what is the price? Less than that? Okay. But it may be a lot more. But what I love about it is the reminder of the ritual. How many of you enjoy the way you shake your cocktail? Alright, you see? We all have a style of shaking a cocktail. We all have a style of stirring a cocktail, making a cocktail. And that's your ritual. Even if you love the way someone does something, you have a mentor, that's fine. But always embrace and be confident of your ritual. And that's why mezcal with sugar is one that I love, because this is their ritual that will never die. Pickleback. Hold on, let's go back. To mezcal with sugar, big man thing. Alright, I have 5 minutes to wrap up. Pickleback. How many of you have had pickleback? I know you guys have had pickleback here. Come on. Big man thing. Well, this one is new to me. I was in Krakow a few days ago and experienced pickleback for the first time. And I fell in love with it. So this is why I have to mention pickleback. Now, it's not just Krakow. What I found out is that it's a lot more than just Krakow. But I experienced pickleback in Krakow, and that's why I mentioned Krakow. What I love about pickleback is that the brine, they use the brine as hangover remedies, right? That's what you guys usually hear for also, right? Hangover remedies. For those of you who don't know, when you drink alcohol, you lose some potassium, some sodium in your body. By drinking the brine, it's claimed theoretically that it replaces potassium and sodium in your body. It's also claimed that the vinegar helps your liver detoxify alcohol. Now, all these are alleged claims for pickleback. But that does not stop anyone from having vodka or whiskey and pickleback shots. Okay? So, you guys can try it. I'm still working on the theory of it being a hangover remedy officially. So, I will let you guys know after I leave Barometer. I'm going to try tonight, tomorrow night. But I love the fact that this is something that you don't see in the UK. You don't see this in the US. This is a very unique style of drinking. And for me, it embodies a sustainability concept of no wastage. And it's also very intriguing and tasty. Any Italians in the house? Okay, hold on. The pickleback. Big man thing. Alright, Cafe Loretto. I'm going to move quickly here. I have 3 minutes. I love coffee. How many of you love coffee here? Oh, you all love coffee. So, espresso is incredible. Cafe Corretto is translated into the English version of correct coffee. I love the way Italians drink their coffee. You go to a bar, you don't sit. You stand at the bar, we chat, we have a coffee, and we go. Very compressed style, take a shot, and we go. I love it. Single, double, no flat whites, no cappuccinos, no lattes, no. Single or double espresso. Maybe a ristretto. Alright? But a cafe corretto is having your coffee with a shot of an Italian liqueur, sambuca, grappa, or an amaro. And you add the measure into the coffee that you would like. Now when you finish drinking the coffee, the cafe corretto, you rinse the glass with the remaining amount of liqueur that you have. And that is called an mazzacafe, which means coffee killer. Big man thing. So again, ritual for you guys to take. We know a lot about coffee and spirits, mainly because of the espresso martini. But I want to open your eyes when you leave here today to consider many other spirits with coffee. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Alapasi. Any French? Any Frenchies in the house? Alapasi is something that I'm intrigued by. Because when we drink champagne, we don't think about adding ice to champagne. But this is something that the French have been doing for a long time. Adding ice to it. It's called à la piscine. Piscine means pool or swimming pool. Alright? But here's a saying, and please make sure that Eddie from Cocktails for You hears this. That champagne can never be too cold. So adding ice to your champagne is a ritual that they embrace in France, and something that only a few cultures know about in terms of the title of à la piscine. So it's something to consider because some people think that you can't add ice to champagne. It's blasphemy to add ice to champagne. But this is something that's cultural. So I'm opening your eyes to it. Always remember, champagne could never be too cold. Hold on. To Alapasi, big man thing. Coconut water and chaser. I have 2 minutes. If ever you come to the islands of Trinidad and Tobago, every bar that you go to, every bar, you will have chasers, what you call mixers. Let's say tonic water, Coke, ginger ale. Every bar you go to will have fresh coconut water. Every bar. Because we drink rum and whiskey with coconut water. One of the favorites is Angostura 1919 and fresh coconut water. Now if you've never tried that, you need to. Tonight we're going to be doing a guest shift at Who and Why Bar. Shameless plug right now. We're going to be doing a guest shift at Who and Why Bar tonight. We should have some coconut water. We should have some coconut water tonight. So for any of you who do come, who are at the seminar today, remind me and let's have a drink of Angostura 1990 and coconut water. Now, we call the mixers chasers. It's not like Tel Aviv. In Tel Aviv, a chaser is a shot. In Trinidad, a chaser is a mixer. So we add it to a highball. The soda is a mixer or a chaser. Coconut water is different. I'm going to tell you a quick story of coconut water. You have 2 types of coconut. You have the mature coconut and you have the young coconut. Whenever you see the meat inside of the coconut, this meat inside of it here, the white jelly, that means that the coconut is mature. It's ripe. So it's going to be very sweet and coconut flavored. When it doesn't have the meat inside of it, it's a young coconut. That's the one that has all the electrolytes that everyone talks about. The young coconut, the young nut. So when we drink on a Friday and Saturday night on the island, the next day we go, we crawl to the coconut bed now. We say, big man, let me get a young nut here. So, the 1999 coconut water, big man thing. Nah, bigger than that. Big man thing. Alright, we have 2 more. Let's go. Caribbean sorrel, which is also known as hibiscus or flor de Jamaica. Some of you are familiar with it more in Europe as hibiscus. But on the islands, in Trinidad, we're approaching Christmas season. And I can tell you this, Christmas has 2 things that you need on the islands. A Christmas tree and sorrel. If you don't have sorrel in your home, it is not Christmas. So everyone has Caribbean sorrel in their homes. It's not alcoholic, but you can add the rum eventually. But it's a mix of steeping the sorrel with aniseed, cinnamon, bay leaf. Everyone has their own version of this. I love making sorrow. And if you go a little bit deeper into the roots of it, you have what is called the black sorrow and the regular sorrow, which is a little bit more intense. So I love the fact that this is something that everyone knows, but they know it as hibiscus. Hibiscus is a species of sorrow that you guys are familiar with. On the island, it's the same, but it's a different species. Alright? So this one has a lot more spice orientation to it. Very flavorful, and when you complement it with cinnamon, with spice, with cloves, and bay leaf, it's incredible. So, the Caribbean sorrow. Big man thing. Oh. Booza. Anyone here familiar with booza? Okay. I didn't expect that. I always remember the first time I tasted booza. The expression on my face was like, what is that? What? I had it in Bulgaria, and I had a drink of booza, and I'm like, what is this? It's sour, it's milk oriented, however, it's yogurt flavored, and it was incredible eventually. And I fell in love with booza. What I love about booza, for me, is a fermented malt drink that's very popular. And when I think about it, it has many origins, from Romania, Croatia, Azerbaijan, many different origins. But what I love about it is that, let's say you're making a whiskey, an Irish coffee, or you're making something that requires half and half. Why use just regular half and half when you can use something that has more flavor? Like booza, it's thick, it has a nice acidic, salty, sweet taste to it. It's different. And this is what I love about experiencing different drink cultures. So for me, I mentioned booza because it is a heavy cream alternative, especially as we're going into the season of hot cocktails. Many of you will love to include the cream element into some of these cocktails. So booza is something you can consider. So the booza, big man thing. Alright, we're wrapping up here, guys. Wrapping up here. Milano, Torino. Italians again. Where the Italians? Anyone? Alright. So, Milano is where Campari is made. Torino is where vermouth is made. Milano, Torino, 2 parts each, equal parts. You have half and half. Now, everyone knows about Negroni. Everyone? Negroni? Everyone loves the Negroni? So, let's start. We have the Negroni here. Before the Negroni, there was the Americano. Get the Americano. Before the Americano, there was exactly, big man. Milano Torino. Oh. That's the real big man. The real big man is Milano Torino. Oh. Because it's the blueprint for the Negroni. Everyone talks about the Negroni. They even mentioned briefly the Americano that became or morphed into the Negroni with some gin. But the true hero, the unsung hero, is Milano Torino. Eventually, the Milano Torino, they started adding soda into it, which created Americano. And from that, we have Negroni. So whenever you drink a Negroni, when next you drink a Negroni, I want you to remember Milano Torino. But also, even better than that, I want you to consider using elements like this, just 2 parts, with an expressed lemon peel that is absolutely incredible. And the person that introduced me to Milano Torino was Antonio Paparoli from the Jerry Thomas Speakeasy Bar, when we did some cocktails together. And when he introduced me to Milano Torino, I was like, why haven't I been drinking this all the time? I love it as a digestive. My nightcap at the end of the day or at the end of a drinking session is shut up on the sorbitas, which I'll tell you ahead, and in Milano Torino. So I love this having equal parts of sweet vermouth and an aperitivo bitters of your choice with an express lemon peel. Simple and incredible. So Milano Torino. The real big man of the Negroni. No. The real big man of the Negroni. Alright, this is the last one, guys. Alright, we're gonna wrap things up on this one. Now, yes, you guys know I'm from the house of Angostura, so there was no way I was going to leave this stage without mentioning my heart. But I have to mention a very extreme version of it. I always remember growing up in Angostura on the islands, Angostura bitches. You know, every bar that you go to, every home that you go to, you always had Angostura bitches. When as a kid, you go to the supermarket, you get rice, sugar, milk,